Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, another brand new day wherein the denture adhesive that I've put onto my lower plate to keep it in place, because otherwise I spend all my time while talking trying to keep my lower plate from flopping up and coming out while I'm talking with my lips and my tongue, and I'm concentrating on that instead of stuff to talk about. Anyway, though, I was just mentioning that because it's cornstarch based and it's bleh, coats the inside of your mouth, and I just glued my plate in, so thumbs up. And it wasn't even really my fault that my teeth went bad. Both of my parents lost their teeth in their mid-20s through not their fault either. My mother got pregnant, and what happens when you get pregnant, sometimes your teeth fall out. Her teeth fell out. She needed dentures. Even before that, her teeth weren't the best. And the place where we grew up in Washington State, Bellingham, Washington, does not have good water for mineralized water for teeth and bones. And my genetic father, he lost his teeth. Same issue, except not pregnancy. It was something happened, his teeth went bad, not his fault. He lost his teeth. And then my teeth, I fought. I managed to keep my teeth more than twice as long as either of my parents, because it was only in my 50s that I finally had to get them gone. My lower jaw has been jutting forward, and so normally your teeth go like this. Here's your lower teeth, your upper teeth, and then, you know, they go like this. My lower jaw has been slowly jutting forward through the years, and so my teeth went scrape, 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 bang, 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 until when they scraped, they became paper thin and razor sharp. I was cutting my lips up bad, and then they just banged together until down to the gum lines. There was nothing I could do. I've been brushing my teeth my entire life and flossing because I knew I had to fight hard to keep my teeth, and nothing that I could do would actually keep them. They just banged and got ground down, and so by the time I got 53 when I finally lost all my teeth. But anyway, point being, let's see if I can remember what I was going to talk about. Well, I've forgotten the original thing that I was going to talk about. This is one of the problems with depression and damage from alcoholism and fibromyalgia, is I forget everything. Like, the one thing that I wanted to say from a couple of days ago, hopefully I'll remember in a few days what I wanted to talk about just now that I forgot about. But was mentioning, I'd mentioned before how I kind of treat this as a job, even though it's therapy and not a job, because I don't treat it as a job, because I actually don't. And yes, I gesture with my hands. I do this even when talking in real life, just not as badly because I don't have a webcam for immediate response and feedback on that. But treating it as kind of a job, because when you get out of the workforce as a man, when you retire, a lot of the times people, men, die after retiring, because as a man, toxic masculinity puts your entire self-worth and being into your ability to work. And when you stop working, you lose that focus. And when you lose your point and your focus, if you can't grab something else, you tend to die. And a lot of people, when they retire, do that. And so I've had to worry about that during all the time I've been out of the workforce, because I got knocked out of the workforce in my not early 40s? Well, when was that? 2003, so minus 15 years. Yeah, when I was 40-something. So I had to try and find something to do, and I made taking care of my wife my job. Since then, I hadn't had anything, and I was adrift, waiting to die for the first 9 months after my wife died. Then I glommed onto YouTube and made you my purpose, and that's been keeping me alive. And one of the things I do, especially since we moved into this house here, is I wake up, come in here, turn on my computer, sit down, start to wake up. It's become part of the process of waking up, a purpose, a point. I have my effective cup of coffee brought into the office, you know, a little early, as I just wake up while everyone's, you know, before everyone else is there, as I wake up, so that when everyone else is there, hey, I'm awake and we're all getting stuff done and we're all working and I've got a point and a purpose, and that's the way I treat it. which is a good thing. A good thing. So I look upon it as a job in that it's something I have to do to keep focused, to keep my point in my life. Because remember, I say with my little nihilistic slash Zen slash Buddhist type mantra of there is no point to life other than what you put into it. So I'm putting into it as much as I can, even knowing that there is no point to life, even with what you put into it, that there is no meaning to any human activity, and we are all just waiting to die. So you got to put your own meaning into life, and that's what I do my best at, and so thumbs up on that. And that's why I treat it as a quote-unquote, as stated, job, so that I wake up, and then I've got my vlogs to do so I can process, and I can get my head together. And as much as I fall asleep lately, because my exhaustion and all that is catching up on me again, as much as that's going on, I would be sleeping a whole lot more if I wasn't vlogging, because this allows me to bubble sort my brain, to get my thinking in order, because this is what I'm doing. It's allowing me to actually think, to process, to get my brain booting up properly and working again. So thank you very much for allowing me to do this and following me on this little journey of self-exploration. Thumbs up on that, definitely. There was something about depression and such that I'd wanted to talk about. Not in a horrible way, but in a minor way. But I can't even remember what it was I was going to log onto. Log onto? That's a weird turn of phrase. I wonder what the heck I meant on that. What I was going to turn and talk about. One thing that I do want to talk about, and I've mentioned it before, one thing that's kind of irritating is there's this one YouTuber, like I think his name's Bobby Burns. He did this one video on how YouTubers manipulate people, and I've talked before on this as I watch more of what he talks about. You know, because he says there's the disingenuous sigh, because you tell when people sigh when they start their videos. And then, you know, they're not looking at the webcam, and then they look at the webcam and they talk, and then there's the vocal fry where you're not talking the same way that you normally would. And then, you know, the typical thing that people do is like they'll reach up to turn off the camera. Well, aside from the obvious turning off the camera thing, all that stuff that he talks about, and that's why I'm bringing it up again, because it irritates me, that it's not all just manipulation on a conscious level. It's just, this is what we do when we're human. Because you take a look at somebody in a face-to-face thing, if they've got something heavy-duty when they're talking to you, what do? They bolster themselves to get up energy. They go, just like the guys start up their videos doing. And they're not looking at you at first because they're trying to get the backbone to do it. And a lot of the times, a lot of us, what we're doing when we're talking to our cameras is we're talking to the camera knowing that we're talking to you. Not you specifically, but you as a person, a human being. We're knowing that we're talking to people. And so you act as if it's a person. So you have that getting yourself together, looking toward the camera because you've got shame. These are not all specifically manipulation things. These are signs that they are treating you, the camera, viewing audience, as a person. And so all those things, the vocal fry, the changing, you know, it's like, you're not talking the way you normally would. You're talking differently because you're ashamed of stuff. And it's, yeah, you're ashamed of stuff. You're acting like you do when you're talking to somebody and you're apologizing or whatever it is that you're doing while you're trying to manipulate your audience. Come on. Every time I see that, and Pyrocynical, whom I really do respect and watch a lot, has shown a lot of his stuff and said, oh, this is the manipulation stuff, and he uses that as like textbook stuff, and it's like, oh, come on. People acting like people is not always manipulation. Sure, I know people do. There is manipulation, there's all kinds. There's emotional manipulation, there's intellectual manipulation, there's all kinds of manipulation, but a lot of the times it's just people acting like people. And yes, I know, I'm giving them possibly the benefit of the doubt that they don't deserve, but it's just from my observations in my 55 years of life versus this one 20-year-old who's convinced that any sort of sign of acting like a human being means you're manipulating your audience. I don't know. I have found myself, when I have tried to do a thing where I've wanted to talk about something and I've not felt good about it, I've found myself going, and then looking toward the camera. And it's like, I'm not trying to manipulate anybody. I am just treating the webcam like there's a person watching me. And that's what people do. So thumbs up on that. There was another thing too. Thank you for, again, thank you for being here while I process and getting my brain working. So, now yesterday I actually started off the morning making a big walk. I took a big walk to the, I had to go everywhere. I had to walk in Peter Rand. I had to walk over to the post office, which I still have to go back to again. There's something waiting for me. If you get a package and you don't have to sign for it, they have these parcel lockers where they'll just put the key inside of your post office box, and then you pick up the key, put it in the lock, unlock it. The key is now locked into the lock, but you take out your parcel because you don't have to sign for it, and you just go home with your thing. And then the next day when they come in, they check for keys, unlock them, take them out, and then start the whole process over. There was a package there, but I had a lot of stuff that I was doing, and I couldn't just grab whatever there was without knowing how big it was. I could, especially if it was heavy. Oh my. So today, on my way back from seeing my therapist, which is why, did I say the time? Because it is right now, when at 12 minutes into this, it is 6:51 a.m. on Thursday, the 4th of January, and I'm off to see my therapist today. I have to be there at 9 o'clock, which means I have to leave Shelton at 8:15 at the latest. Well, leave this house at 8:15 at the very latest, because it takes 20 minutes to make the 20-mile trip from here to Olympia, where my appointment is. So I'm going to talk to him about what my experience with the disabled American veterans when I made the call, and I haven't made the other call where the guy said, we're too far away. I'm going to give you a number that somebody that are closer to you. I don't know if it's a good number, and if it's not, give me a call. I've been so disheartened I haven't made that call yet, so I got to do that today and find out what is closer. They might have help. They might actually be able to help, so here's hoping. But I'm going to go in, I'm going to talk to my therapist, and I'm going to talk especially about how on Friday I had my massive, what is the word for that? Existential crisis. I have a large vocabulary, and I like having a large vocabulary, and I like using my large vocabulary. Problem is with my depression, fibro, and brain damage, I forget words all the time. Even I can be using that word and going, yeah, the bread basket. I had some bread out of the bread basket. And then I got some butter and I spread it all over that. Oh, what is that stuff? It's made out of grains. It's cooked grains. So, yay on that. Try to remember what I was just talking about. I just blew my conversational bread trail away. That we're just going off on that tangent knocked the subject out of my head. Oh well, though. Hopefully today I'll be able to do better. One of the things I got to start doing again, because I keep forgetting, is I've got this big bottle of caffeine pills. I keep forgetting to take the caffeine tablets. If I don't get constant reinforcement on something, I forget. And so, largely, a lot of the time, I even forget to take my methadone until my restless leg stuff starts to kick in. And I've been taking methadone for over 10 years, and I still forget to take it. If I don't get constant reinforcement for something, I just forget. I keep forgetting to take those caffeine tablets. That's another reason I keep falling asleep all the time, because I'm so exhausted. I need to fool my body into thinking that I am fully rested by taking caffeine. Caffeine, it doesn't give you energy. It doesn't make you awake. What it does is it blocks your tiredness receptors. A lot of your body works on negative feedback loops. It knows that something is wrong when it gets enough negative feedback so that it can change. It knows it's tired when a lot of the tiredness receptors start filling up. And when those fill up, it knows it's time to rest. Caffeine blocks those receptors, fills it up, so that when all those enzymes and other forms of things come to go and fill up those receptors, they just go boink, 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 boink. And so your body doesn't know it's exhausted, and so it keeps working. And that's why caffeine gives you energy. It doesn't give you energy. All it does is block your tiredness receptors. Thumbs up on that. Now, I have opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me comments. Doesn't matter what the content of the comment is, good comment, bad comment, indifferent comment. The fact is you left me a comment. Thank you very much. Well, it is just, you get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. Thank you so very much. If I mispronounce your name, no disrespect is intended. I am an American English speaker. We're not good at names. So, at random, we have Yogeshwaran. I sure hope I'm close. Thank you very, very much. And Jurassic Omnom 12. Thank you very, very much. Muscle Man, spelled M-U-T-S-L-E. Thank you very much. Ice Damon, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Insert AG here. I sure hope that's close. Thank you very, very much. Claude 5190, greatly appreciated. Philip Vieira, thank you very, very much. Fel EXE. I'm not quite sure, but whichever one it is, thank you so very, very much. Randall Marty, greatly appreciated. Finding Mimo Kawaii Boy Korean Drama, is that you? Thank you very, very much. I'm amazed I actually was able to say that. Ken Trude, thank you very, very much. Bo Phelps, thank you, greatly appreciated. King Bear, thumbs up and thank you. Parker Ryburn, greatly appreciated. And Biggs 301, thank you so much. Sam is OG, thank you. Potatotron, thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Len Ho, thank you. Thumbs up. And Kugara Gaming, I sure hope I'm close. Thank you very, very much. Hating Me is Conforming. I've come to see your name quite a bit in the comments. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure. And then there is Hannah is Gay. Well, son of a gun. Hopefully that's you, Hannah. Red Flavored. Thank you very, very much. Red Flavored. I never knew a color was a flavor. And Mentally Challenged Dolphin. Thank you very much. Heck of a name. Water Drinkers United. Thumbs up. And then last but not least, Dices Crisis, I think. It's hard to say the way the name is spelled and spaced. But thank you all so very, very much. As stated, you get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with actual real people, and it's a very good thing. If you could check my links down below, that would be awesome and greatly appreciated. I got like Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, Google+, son of a gun, I remembered all of them. It'd be very awesome if you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like any one of these wonderful, beautiful people that are my Patreon.com patrons. And thank you so much. People have been donating to my GoFundMe campaign. Even $1 to $5 is awesome. Thank you. Anything is a good thing, and I do appreciate it to no end. Now, if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes, deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very, very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be really, really cool, but I would understand if you don't want to. I mean, my personality has rubbed people wrong my entire life, so if you did not want to subscribe, I understand. And if you do not like my videos, I understand. But if you're down with it, I'll do my best to keep you entertained for, well, a very, very long time. After all, slap a few coats of sealant on you, stack you like cordwood down in the basement, you'll last for decades before you go sour. And trust me, especially in hard economic times, a guy has to eat. Cannibalism for the win. Thumbs up. I really like that one. I like that ending, especially when I have to say, like, I have never eaten an entire human being. Yet. Nor do I plan on ever eating an entire human being. We are far too fatty of meat. Well, I got a game video coming up. I got a reaction video coming up after I get back from my therapist. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And remember, out there is a bus with your name on it. Avoid the bus. Stay alive. Just one more day for me.